It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiochendu. Thanks a lot for joining us. We are still following the results from the Osun State governorship elections. Congratulations, I guess, are in order for the PDP candidate Ademola Adeleke, who has been declared the winner by the Independent National Electoral Commission, defeating the incumbent governor Adegboyega Oyetola of the APC. A lot of people have said that this means that democracy is alive and well, and looking forward to 2023 and all the great things that will come with it, hopefully. Final test run it has been for the INEC, and hopefully this has been a good run with Osun, Ekiti, and of course Anambra, which happened at the end of last year, towards the general elections in February 2023. So of course elections and politics in Nigeria and all the issues on the front burner of conversations these days. And I have a special guest here with me, Sandra Chukwudozie, who's going to hopefully talk on issues or like what we've been talking about. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I say that because what dominates the conversation these days is what tribe, what religion, what sector, what, you know, away from what should be ideas and ideology and policy. Before we get into the meat of it, what are your thoughts on how politics has been shaped over the last year in the run-up to these elections?
I think the major challenge with everyone with politics is identifying who the leader will be, but I think the major challenge is how are people participating now and being able to vote for who they want. And what you see now is lots of young people actually putting their minds to saying that they want the right leaders who can actually like take the country to the next level. And I feel like you saw echoes of this from the riot at the bridge the last time. The one with the EndSARS one. So I think it's just more accountability. We're tired of leaders promising us things and not delivering on them, and we're going to see a lot more people coming out and just like saying what they want to happen in this country. Yeah,
I mean, we can go on and on about, you know, all of the conversations that are happening, like I said, but I want us to get to the issues because especially looking at the front runners for president now, a lot of people have said we don't even know what you're offering. Some of them are saying it's my turn.
Yeah.
We have one or two who have given us some sort of a manifesto or at least a document that looks like, you know, they have plans, even if campaigns are not fully in gear. Security is a big issue, you know. It's probably the one issue that everybody wants to resolve as soon as possible. The economy, of course, is another big one. But people keep saying that, you know, power is a huge part of that conversation. You are an energy expert. What in your thought has kept us still at the point where we are with regards to the power issues in Nigeria? And do you see any signs of those candidates having a plan for us?
So the biggest challenge with power is the fact that the grid hasn't been extended enough for us to be able to accommodate our population. So we're still on 4,000 megawatts, and the grid should be about 200,000 megawatts. So there's a big deficit. And apart from that, right, scaling up the grid to reach that capacity is going to take a lot of investment, billions of dollars. So the issue now becomes, how can we move quickly enough? How can we unlock the energy that people need? And we're looking at other forms of energy, like renewable energy, like solar energy. And so what you've seen in this administration, you've actually seen people in the government who have actually supported lots of reforms. So for example, the CBN has brought in a lot of reforms on clean energy, trying to power, you know, different states. How can solar companies work with these states to begin to deploy projects? Even the World Bank too has come with Nigeria to also, you know, put in lots of projects out there. But the major challenge now is continuity, because one government can, you know, advance a certain agenda, but a different government might not be able to advance it. So how do we continue that legacy? That's the challenge right now. But I think that the most important thing is having people on the ground, you know, Nigerians on the ground who can actually ensure that they are taking this country forward through other forms of energy, young people alike, you know.
Yeah, but how, those sound very long-term. You know, I know we've had presidents in the past. I think the Goodluck Jonathan administration was the government that unbundled what was PHCN at the time into all of this distribution companies, and there was a transmission company and all of that, you know. And since then, people were hopeful that, things were about to switch up and, things would make more sense. We had this government coming and promised us 10,000 megawatts in a year or two. We haven't achieved that. And the clog is what people are wondering. What keeps stopping that? There's talks about, there's political reasons. There are people who are the diesel overlords who don't want this to work. That's the one conversation. But on the other side, government is spending so much, making so many investments in power, but it doesn't seem to translate. Is there a reason why that's happening besides politics, you think?
And look, the challenge is that the funds aren't there. Right now in Nigeria, where we're having a lot of scarce resources in terms of how do we fund power, it's going to take close to $200 billion to actually scale up our power infrastructure. It's power for homes, it's power for industry, it's power for transport. And it's going to take a very, very long time. And that's why we advocate other forms of energy. How can we bring in, solar energy to ensure that we're scaling up those people who are furthest behind, who are energy poor? Because we can't depend on national grid. We have to depend on, ensuring that we are tapping into other forms of energy.
Yeah.
That's the major challenge.
Isn't solar energy said to be expensive to execute?
So it looks, so I know if you buy a gen of like 1 kV and you buy a solar kit of like 1 kVA, the price is totally different. But what you're not doing is actually like, ensuring that you're calculating the daily cost of fueling that gen. Diesel costs now is like 1,000 naira per liter, right? And so when you calculate that on a daily, monthly, yearly basis, you actually see that it's even more expensive for you to fuel that generator and repair it as well. So with solar, what you have is you're actually paying for the device on itself, and then after you've paid it off, you're now able to use that energy for a very, very long time. Batteries now are like 5 years lifespan, so you don't have to worry about buying every month or every year. You just buy that one device and it's good to go.
Yeah, but is that feasible on, for want of a better word, industrial scale? Because a lot of countries around the world have talked about this renewable energy, especially with solar. But scaling has always been a problem, which is why you have very few countries who have wholesomely relied on it. I mean, there's the wind side of things and all of that. Are you talking about solar on an individual basis, or is it possible for sort of state governments, to invest in that and actually make a difference, a tangible difference?
Okay, so let me qualify the question, because it's actually an energy mix that we want. Energy mix meaning that there's room for, hydro, there's room for solar, there's room for wind, there's room for gas as well. I think for industries, you need heavy power. So things like CNG, compressed natural gas, LNG is what is going to help you move those industries and make them more sustainable. Because the challenge is not even just about powering the economies, but how do you do this in a very clean and affordable way? Yeah. So I think with CNG, that's the mix they can actually have to move the country forward. Yeah. So solar, CNG, all these kinds of different energy baskets. It's not just one.
I know you're an energy expert, but you also have a bit of a background in politics. Do you find that Nigerians are asking the right questions as these elections are approaching of candidates? I mean, we're seeing so many conversations about vote buying on the day. Do you find that Nigerians are asking the right questions as the elections approach?
I think they are. I know they are, because how you even know is the chatter that you see from social media. Lots of young people are even digging into the candidates' background to actually know who is this candidate, where are they coming from, what exactly is their agenda. And I think when you have a democratized way of, pulling these candidates, what you now have is accountability. It's not like before where there was no social media, or there was no, democratized way of, trying to investigate these candidates now. Now you have more people who are able to, in the diaspora as well, connect to what we're doing here and ensure that we're being accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important talk there. But on a final note now, there's always been talk about, power might be what will unlock, this poverty issue that we have in Nigeria. As power is more readily available, people can start businesses and all of that. How do you tie that, besides, the economy, to an issue like security, for example? Is power really the key to unlocking a lot of these things, a lot of our issues in Nigeria?
Power is a fundamental human right, according to, it's a right. I mean, how can you not be able to power your home or your business? How can you not have access to power? It's the most important thing. If you don't have power, you're not able to even secure your property. Do you get where I'm coming from? Even at night, for example, if you have your establishment, how are you able to ensure that things are going right? It's gone beyond us saying, oh, it's either power or security. Power is the major thing first. Then you now begin to think of other things that can, build up on power.
Yeah.
So
Are
it's
you
the most
hopeful?
important thing. I'm very hopeful. I'm in the space and I'm making my own impact. So I'm very hopeful.
Thank you very much, Sandra Chukwudozie. Looking forward to all the great things you're working on, and hopefully we can start unlocking a lot of our potential, which has been held back, of course, by all of the issues that we've talked about. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.